So I'm going to put you all to work this morning, and the faster you work and the better answers you give, the shorter the sermon is, and the faster you get out, because it's snowing outside, and nobody does snow well in Baltimore, and there's a game evidently later on. So, what do you think this gospel is about? Healing, okay? What's that? Salvation. What is it you believe because you just heard this gospel? Barbara.
Well, okay, one of the things I got out of this, and it kind of echoes what was in the second lesson, is that we share. Jesus went to share the gospel with other towns.
You believe Jesus came to share the good news?
Yes.
Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
Jesus is the Son of God. Last week we got that in the verses right before this. Jesus has authority to do these things, to heal, to cast out demons. Only the Son of God can do that. What else do you believe? What do you believe about Jesus because of this gospel? His power. He can perform miracles. Yeah.
And that there are demons that he can only speak to.
There are demons that he can only speak to, yep. But the demons are the only ones in this gospel that know him. But that's a whole nother sermon. But now I wish I had preached that. That was where we went this morning. Okay, all those are great answers, obviously, great sermons, but none of them are the ones that I chose to preach on. Mine may be a little more simplistic. I believe Jesus raises us up. I believe Jesus raises us up. So if you look, and you'll know I'm not a Greek nut, but this is the word they use here when Jesus takes her hand and raises her up is the same word for his resurrection later on. So this actually is the first time, this is the first resurrection in the Gospel of Mark. And it's the word that Mark keeps using for the other healings in the next few chapters. There's the little girl where he says, Talitha cum, you remember those Greek words? Little girl, get up. There's another boy with a demon. My other favorite passage when they dig to the roof because it's too crowded to get the man in to heal Jesus, and they lower him in. And this is the word they use there. He raises us up. I think there's a little difference there of healing. I like the language he raises us up because I don't have a healing story. I don't have a fever and all of a sudden it was gone story. I don't have a I couldn't walk and then I could walk story, but I do have some new life stories. Some life experiences when God came and showed me who God was. I think that this gospel is inviting us to see those moments in our very lives. To see where it is God has taken us by the hand and raised us up when we thought we couldn't be raised up. And I think that works. I think that goes with the words of Isaiah. Have you not ever seen this happen? Have you not known of this? Have you not heard? This is the Lord, the everlasting God who made it all. He doesn't faint or grow weary. He is understanding. He gets it. He gives power to the faint and strengthens the powerless. Even the little ones will faint and be weary, and the youth fall exhausted. But those who wait, those who are patient, will renew their strength. And then we hear that song that everybody loves so much. We're going to sing it in a little bit. They shall mount up with wings like eagles and run and not be weary. They will walk and not be faint. This is the one who has raised us up. He has raised his people up, the least expected ones. He has led them into new life and freed them to do something. So, what does Simon's mother-in-law, the other sermon is, where was Simon's wife? This is the question. And where was Simon's father-in-law? Right? We want to hear all those stories, but we have to wait till we get to the other side, because, there's got to be a story there. But what does she do? She gets up and she serves. Maria says she makes dinner. How does that make y'all feel? Huh? What's that? Makes you hungry? Okay. It's a miracle from the nurse over here that she can get up out of that quick and go to serving. Has this gospel always been used to the benefit of all that are faint or all who serve? We're all women? No. And we gather together today and proclaim that no, this passage can't be taken out of context or used to keep women serving. Because when you do the work of looking at this text, that's not what it says. It doesn't say she got up and did the dishes or went to cooking. It says she went to serving. And the word there is diakonia, or whatever the Greek, which is deacon. She's the first deacon of Jesus. She actually gets it. The demons get it, and then Simon's mother-in-law gets it. But the disciples still haven't. The disciples still don't understand what's going on. She gets what Jesus says later on, for the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. It doesn't say you're a woman and now that you're well, you can go back to doing your duty of working in the kitchen. It's she gets up and serves. She has been raised up to new life, and she can't help but serve others. She is once again made whole so that she can do and respond to the grace that God has given her. And so I know y'all want like a Lutheran presence and everything, and so it actually has worked. Like you've rubbed off on me. And so the verse I went to when I started thinking about this, and it was cheaper than therapy, was that Ephesians 2. Which is a pretty Lutheran verse, I think, right? That by grace we have been saved, and, this word is really there, and raised up with him. Seated us, he did, with him in the heavenly places. So by grace you have been saved through faith, not in your own doing, not the stuff you're doing. It is the gift of God, not the result of your works, so that you can go brag about them. For what we are, what he has made us, created in Jesus for good works. For good works. Which God has already prepared. We can't help, after getting the grace, after being included, after getting this great gift, but to rise up and go and serve. Jesus raises us up so that we can go and serve. So, just two stories about how I was raised up this week. And these are the little things that I think Mark wants us to notice. And then to proclaim and to learn how to see everything we do during the week somehow connected to God. So, I am trying to be more healthy in 2018. And so far so good. I've got some new rhythms to my life. I'm trying to eat more healthily, and your body changes after you turn 40 and things just are different. And so I've decided that I like oatmeal. I didn't know I liked oatmeal. I was raised on grits. And I was also raised, and it's the only reason I'm still in church, when I was Cameron's age. The only reason I came to church was because my mom brought Fruit Loops. I was raised on Fruit Loops, and the only reason I'm still in church is she brought a little bag of that and a coloring book, and then there was always the promise there were always Krispy Kreme donuts and coffee hour. And so, sugar is the only reason I still come to church. But, that's not sustainable. When you get to be 40, the Fruit Loops need to go on. So I decided I like oatmeal. And so I'm on a different side of town than I normally am, but I like this grocery store, and people are always really nice. And so I go and I'm looking for oatmeal. And so I'm a little distracted by other things, but I'm looking at the oatmeal, and I'm also tight. We need to know this, and I love the game of like getting a good bargain. And so I look and I calculate, or I look at the really little number that says, is this container cheaper than the bigger container? Because sometimes if it's on sale, it can be cheaper than the big container, right? You can buy 2 little ones for 1 big one. And then I get distracted because you know, there's steel cut oats and there's quick cooking oats, and then somebody burst my bubble and said the quick cooking ones have half the nutrients taken out of them. I don't know. But then you get distracted by the little ones that are the individual packets, which are really easy, but, you know, they have a lot of sugar. I mean, it tastes really good, but they have too much stuff. So I'm literally taking this long in the oatmeal aisle, and I finally am like, well, and then, yeah, I don't know, there's just all these other organic things. And I'm like, no, I'm just going back to the Quaker Oats quick 1-minute thing. It was in 90 seconds in my microwave. It's perfect. So I grab it, and I turn around, there's a woman standing there. And I start thinking, oh my gosh, she's been there the whole time waiting for me to get away from the oven. And so I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm trying to get out of the way. Because you've done that before, right? You've been looking at something, then you realize somebody's waiting there patiently to get around you, but they don't want to touch your buggy because it's a little like personal space to touch somebody else's buggy. So she looks up at me, and she doesn't look like me. I'm pretty sure she's not Episcopalian because she's never been here. I'm pretty sure we come from different backgrounds. And she looks up at me and she says, "You like oatmeal too?" Yeah, I do. I proudly like oatmeal. And now I share it with this little lady. Every morning I think about my little oatmeal lady friend in the oatmeal aisle, who was really trying to get down to the exact same box I was, and I wouldn't get out of her way. And she raised me up on Monday. This little moment in the oatmeal aisle where I was a little distracted, and she's like, "This guy likes oatmeal too, we share something together." We look totally different, we come from different ways. She probably grew up eating oatmeal. And there was some connection of humanity over oatmeal. And it was a little thing, and a little glimmer, maybe it's a God wink, I don't know. God winks, I think, are bigger than God winks if we open our eyes to how Jesus is working, and if we're willing to work in other people's lives. So, that's number 1. Number 2, Tuesday morning. I woke up and I didn't really have anything churchy to do. We had a staff meeting and I didn't really need to wear my collar, so I didn't wear it. And I thought, well, I'll wear a sweater. It was cold, and I was like, I like that red sweater. I should wear the red sweater. So that was as much as I thought about it. I put the red sweater on. So I went to work and we had a good day, and phone rang, and it was Jack Merrill's son who was calling, because Jack used to sit right here in the front row with his beloved wife Joan, that he cared for with dementia, Holy Comforter members, and he's had pancreatic cancer for 6 months, 8 months, and was nearing the end of his life and asked for communion, which he would do. And so I said, I'll be there in 30 minutes, and I thought, oh no, I should have my collar on today, because this is like, you know, I'm going to do last rites with someone in communion, and my collar's important, I probably should wear this, and I thought, well, I should go home and put my collar on before I go. And then I'm like, well, it sounded kind of urgent, and what if I go put my collar on? I'm more worried about that than getting there, and I don't make it in time. And so I just go. And so I walk upstairs, and Jack is nearing the end of his life, and was coming and going, and I went and greeted him and didn't quite wake up, and then he did. And he looked up and he said, thanks for wearing my favorite red sweater. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And so I kind of thought maybe he's coming and going, and like we share communion and everything, and it was this moment. And later on, I walk out with his son, and he said, no, really, that's his favorite red sweater. Like, how did you know, and how did you wear his favorite red sweater today? I can't believe it. And so we raised each other up that afternoon. And I didn't know I put my red sweater on, but some inkling said put the red sweater on this morning, and I did. And when I got there, he raised me up because he noticed it. He didn't say, where in the heck is your collar? You're a priest, why aren't you wearing the collar? Like, this is my last moment. He said, Oh, it's my red sweater, which he couldn't wear anymore. And so we remember Jack and bless him in his new life, which is eternal, where he's wearing his red sweater, heavenly garment, and knows what it is like to be truly raised up, because I believe that's the rest of the story. That Jesus raises us up and gives us new life in a whole new way, because he has been raised up to new life. That's all I got. That's what I believe, that Jesus raises us up. And we are called to go on out and raise others, because there are plenty who have been oppressed by this word and oppressed by the world and are in need of healing and are battling their own demons today, and all they need is a hand up. And ours is the only one they can possibly find. So go forth, strengthened from this place. You are raised up, and we will be raised up again as if on the wings of eagles. Amen.
Amen.